to Canada, where he joined and trained and fought with the Canadian Army, reminiscent of what Taff is doing here.
Do that again one more time? Yeah. Okay, back you go again.
In the first part of the war, when the Canadian Expeditionary Force first came over, more than 60% were not even first-generation Canadians. They were predominantly English, a lot of Scots, and quite a few other nationalities as well. A relative of mine, Sergeant Arthur Harry Whitman, he was a carpenter, he'd gone for a new life in Canada. And when the war broke out, he'd enlisted in the 44th CEF in Winnipeg. He became a sergeant very quickly, and they crossed over on the SS Lapland from Halifax in October the 23rd, 1915. Even looking at the embarkation roll, the vast majority of them were English, but it didn't take them long to become very proud of their Canadian status. And certainly as far as they were concerned, they fought here as Canadians. This is Adirondach Cemetery, which is Canada backwards. It's just to the north of Regina Trench. This is part of the Battle of the Somme. It's not really one battle, it's a number of different smaller battles. On the 25th of October, the 44th Battalion CEF with Sergeant Whitman were trying to extend the section of trench that the Canadians had already captured.
Extend! Gobble advance! Forward! March!
Sadly, the attack was unsuccessful, and a lot of them were killed, including him. His body was never found. He was one of the missing. His name's on the memorial to the missing at Vimy. And it's particularly powerful for me because this is the outfit he would have worn, the 44th Battalion collar badges, the cap badge, I mean, right down to the 4th Division green patch and the green circle, which is specifically 44th CEF, and of course the Canada shoulder titles. And as I was walking around, just over to one side, there's a gravestone, and it says a Canadian Sergeant, 44th Battalion CEF. So, if there was only one missing, then it may well be him. And yeah, that's really quite something. Just to make that connection. He's still just a name until, I think, just the last few days. Something about being surrounded by Canadian people and the sense being amongst you and the enthusiasm that you've got, the love for your country, and suddenly thinking, actually, I've been drawn into this in the way he must have been. It's almost like getting him back. Even though it sounds odd, doesn't it, having never even known that he existed, but I know so much more about him now. It's been a long journey over the last few days, but it's, yeah, really good.
Your beautiful miniature was handed to me exactly on my birthday. It is the most precious thing I've ever had. It seems to have a life, a soul of its own. I am returning it to you. Will you please keep it for me until someday when you can give it to me again with the confidence with which you would entrust your honor to me? By the way, I have accepted a staff appointment with a promotion.
Captain Papineau is leaving us, but we hope not for long. Thank you.
I have no idea I was so bound by ties of affection to the regiment until I came to leave it.
Charlie, you take care of these guys.
I will, and you watch out for yourself.
No, I shall.
I am to be the official eyewitness, having to write all communications and descriptions of all the coming battles and the history.
Richard, for the captain! Up, up! Hooray! Up, up! Hooray! Up, up! Hooray! Replenish!
Vimy Ridge, the craters and trenches of the front line. War historians look at battlefields with a certain eye. War historians, who are also soldiers, read a battlefield with a tactical and strategic vision. Lieutenant Colonel Roman Yaramovitz.
You've seen so many frontal attacks which ended in slaughters and total disasters. Some of you must have wondered why. I mean, why are they doing this? What is the operational, tactical reason behind this? Is this the way wars are supposed to be fought? And of course, that's not the way wars are supposed to be fought. Wars are won by maneuver. But the moment you dig in and you have a front line that is perhaps 12 kilometers deep going from Switzerland to the Channel, you can't really maneuver. So the first thing you've got to do is break through. This is the breakthrough battle. This is what becomes the aim of the Western Front. If we can penetrate their lines of defense, if we can secure a key piece of ground, it's not just madness, like we've got to take Courcelette and die doing so, and after that there really is no plan. We just kind of felt we should take Courcelette for the better view. Strategic plan, let's win the war. How do you win the war? You break through a maneuver. How do you do that? Take something. What? Like what? Vimy Ridge.
I'm commanding 1st Division.
The senior Canadian commander for the Vimy attack is a BC land speculator named Arthur Currie.
All right, German trench. Here.
This citizen soldier becomes Canada's best general.
German command posts. The British have joined us finally, and they're on the same page.
And is Haig still a post?
I'm a good enough Canadian to believe, if my experience justifies me in believing, that Canadians are best led by Canadians.
This is not just Currie going into some Buddhist-like trance and developing this. This is Currie studying, observing, looking at each battle, what went right, what went wrong.
Thorough preparation must lead to success. Neglect nothing.
Currie also says total preparation. You must know what the enemy is doing. You must use counter-battery fire. Have limited objectives. Bite and hold. Bite and hold. If you bite and hold, they'll have to counterattack. Destroy them, and then you can bite again.
Now, for the first time, the Canadians will attack the German invaders as a national army. This is the underworld below Vimy Ridge. 20 kilometers of tunnels and caves dug to hide 15,000 Canadian frontline soldiers. They know the stakes. 21-year-old Cam Landreth writes home he is certain he is going to die. His premonition would be fulfilled.
My own dear mother, when you receive this, you will know I am missing or killed. I know you will grieve, Mother, but remember, we will meet again above someday. In this greatest battle of the war, I fall with many more.
Exploring tunnels and caves 3 kilometers from the ridge, we make a startling find. Carved into the chalk are the names of Canadian soldiers who were here Easter Sunday night, 1917, waiting to go into battle. One carved a 4-leaf clover for good luck, another a heart for a loved one back home. For 3 years a frontline combat officer, Talbot Papineau has now been ordered to write, not fight, to gather notes to write the history of this battle. Papineau is convinced that there is a point to all the death and destruction he has witnessed, and the horrors still to come.
Here, her citizens are being knit together into a new existence. Because when men stand side by